to swimming at 6 o'clock at TAS, so she was up pretty early and so was I. I went back to bed, of course, after they left. And I was reminded what a great pleasure it is to awake every day to be the mayor of this fantastic city. The city that we all call home, and I know that there are a couple of visitors here from Singapore today, and I welcome you. It is not your home, but you can come here any time and make it your home if you so wish. As Jeremy mentioned, it is a little bit daunting because we are again amalgamating, or I prefer to use the word merging, with the Douglas Shire. Although the same size geographically as Cairns, it has a population of about 10% of Cairns and a similar budget contribution in the final analysis. But on the 16th of March we will all wake up and we will have the Cairns Regional City. The Cairns Regional City will consist of 165,000 people, stretching from the Bloomfield River in the north to Brampton Beach in the south. It will be the centre of the far north Queensland region of 290,000 people, representing 3/4 of the population of Tasmania and another 50% of the population of the Northern Territory. Therefore, it is important we get this right. This is a city with dynamism, a city now with capacity, and a city with an ability to lead in many areas. And that's the privileged position that I have to be involved in a leadership role in that. And Edmonton didn't have when the previous amalgamation occurred in 1995. That's the immediate challenge, to bring these communities together to form part of this homogenous city of Cairns that we know today and that will grow on the 16th of March. The challenge for myself, or Val, will be to make sure that the population that will come here, presently above 4%, and it will stay above 4% despite protestations that we're going to put a stop sign on population growth, is managed appropriately where they live, how we sustain the population. Gee whiz, that goes quickly. Sandy, did you check your watch again, please? So the issues are about sustainability. The issues are about how we're going to make this happen. And the issues are about the leadership that we can provide, and I'm thrilled to be able to be involved in the debate again. You know, people often talk about leadership and what it is. It is the art of bringing all those groups of things together to provide within it a budget framework and to provide within the vision that you have the deliverance of the city with the infrastructure, the outlook and the wherewithal to prosper. We will continue to grow and we will continue to be a wonderful place. And during question time, I'll tell you exactly how much the population is going to grow and where we're going to grow to in the next 20 to 25 years, and how we're going to all confront the challenges that poses. We live in a great part of the world. We have a great future because of the internationalisation of Cairns, and we have a great future because of who we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie, and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce and the Cairns Business Women's Club for making this available, and the sponsors as well. And I would also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land where we meet today, especially since we saw the video that started off the proceedings. I first came to Cairns in 1982, 25 years ago. At that stage there was no international airport, the Civic Centre had just been built, the Pacific was the highest building on the Esplanade, and when I came out of the road at Machan's Beach and wanted to turn right, there were no roundabouts and it was only a 2-lane road. So in living here over that 25 years and watching it, I've seen a lot of changes. And since 2003, when I first decided that I would run for mayor of this great city, I've been in constant contact with people from a great diversity of backgrounds. And people tell me that they're happy about the sound financial management of this city, and they tell me that the city looks good. They like the entry statements and they like the tree plantings. And a majority are pleased that Cairns has had growth, and businesses, no doubt, are pleased about that as well, because so many of you here actually conduct business in this city. But there are things that people are concerned about. What they tell me is that many of the new housing estates and high-rise units that are going up are not designed for the tropics, and they're not energy efficient. They're also worried about impacts on our environment and green issues. 10 years ago, green issues were something that was looked out for by the fringe of the left, but no longer. We live between two World Heritage areas. We have the reef on our doorstep and we have the rainforest. And if we're looking at loss of vegetation and loss of wildlife corridors, that's going to be a problem, both for us who came here because of those World Heritage values and all of the tourists who come here for the same reason. People tell me that we're not planning well enough. That we're not planning well enough for climate change, for flood mitigation, for transport infrastructure. I go down door knocking at Bentley Park and people just want to talk about roads. They also want to talk about school drop-offs. Yes, we know we live in a society where kids now don't ride their bikes to school in the way that they used to. But we've just built a new school, St Andrews, out of Redledge, and we have a massive problem there. So, when I sort of listen to people, there's one other thing they tell me as well, that they think that the locals don't get enough of a say, and that there's too much influence from big business in this city. And that in fact, most of the people who live in this city are actually small business people, or they're ordinary people going about earning a living. So, what I think people are telling me is that they don't want more of the same. That this is a very critical election, and that we need to be very, very careful about the decision we make. And it is quite clear that there are differences between how Mayor Byrne is approaching running the city and how I will if I'm successful on March the 15th. Because I don't want to destroy what makes us distinctively different. And that is that we are a tropical city. We don't want to look like everywhere else. I want to build strong communities. And I want to particularly acknowledge the people of Devonshire and respect them. They're very afraid of what might happen, and they're very concerned that their 100 years of heritage is going to be gone. So we need to be working very closely with them and ensuring that they are looked after. We want a strong economy, and it needs to be a diversified economy. And we want to create a city that's not just a livable city, but it's the very best tropical city in the world. And it's a city which shows leadership in tropical knowledge and expertise, responding to climate change, and building a community where we balance our economic development, our environment, and our social well-being. Thank you.
In my role as President of the Cairns Business Women's Club, I'm ambassador for 425 members who run small to medium enterprises that turn over $100,000 a year to enterprises turning over $10 million per annum. My question is on their behalf. What do you see as the two greatest challenges facing businesses, business leaders, business owners in Cairns in the next 12 months, and how would you as Mayor tackle these challenges?
And can we ask Val?
Thank you. Well, when I had to think about this, I thought that really the main thing that's going to be challenging of the business are actually not local factors. It's actually the global and national factors and the things that are happening in the economy, the inflation and the increase in interest rates, and those things that are actually going to have an impact on the economy. Will the increase in rents create problems with workers in industry? Will our tourists continue to come? Will consumer spending be impacted upon? These are largely out of our control, but we are very lucky that we actually have the Desiree Boyle as the Minister for Tourism, Regional Development Industry here. And we're going to need to be working with the state government and with the federal government to ensure that we can put into place, get support